guys, this is Mary. You're watching Cardz TV. Today we're going to put together Christmas tag number 2, and this is one of my favorite little gingerbread men. I just love him. Now I've already started working on him, and I cut him out using the Stretch Your Imagination cartridge. Now you can find gingerbread men on other Christmas cartridges. Just go to cutsearch.com. I'll have the link on my blog under this video, and just type in gingerbread men and it will show you all the cartridges and the page number and everything where you can find other gingerbread men if you don't have Stretch Your Imagination, because I know this is an older cartridge, but he is my favorite. I always go to this little gingerbread man. Now I cut him out at 5 inches, and I cut him out twice and get the mat out of the way. And that's because this is already some really heavy cardstock, but I wanted to wrap the rickrack around his arms and legs to look like icing, but I didn't want it to show on the back. And I wanted to be able to tuck that under and not have that showing, because I wanted a nice smooth edge on the back, because this is where I stamped Merry Christmas to and from. And where's my stamp set? Here we go. For the Merry Christmas, I used one of my stamp sets. This is Ticket Talk, and here's Merry Christmas right here, and that one fit really well, I thought. And then for the to and from, I used another of my stamp sets. This is Christmas Joy. Here is to, and here is from. So I just put that on my stamp block and went ahead and stamped the back after I glued the 2 gingerbread men together. And I glued the rickrack on and glued him together using some Scotch quick dry adhesive, and it works really well. But I love it because he's nice and heavy, and this could double as a Christmas tree ornament. So whoever you give this to is probably going to want to keep it and hang it on their tree maybe next year. Now for the face, in the cartridge, if you cut it out exactly as it is in the cartridge, and he's on page 55, it will cut holes for buttons, it will cut holes for the eyes, and mark the lines for the white bands for the icing. And actually they have them red in here. Well, if you cut it out like that, then you want to come over to layers and cut all of those pieces out to put on for his face and everything. I didn't do that. I just cut him out on blackout, like I said, at 5 inches, and I did cut 2 because I wanted to use that cute little peachy keen face. Now, this is from the Snow Cutie Face Assortment. This is PK 500, and I used the largest one in the set, and that's 1 3/8 inches. And I just stamped that on with some Memento Tuxedo Black ink. I think it's so cute. And then I took some red chalk and highlighted the cheeks right there. And that will not rub off, so don't worry about that. You can see, it does not rub off. And I've already taken my crocodile, and I used the small hole. Let's see, that is 1/8 of an inch hole, and I've already punched a hole in my little gingerbread man's head. Hated to do it, but he's got a hole in his head. But that's where I'm going to add my hanger. Now we want to finish decorating. I wanted to add something across the front like a banner, so I got out the Artiste cartridge, and like I said before, if you don't have the Artiste cartridge and you need a banner, just go to cutsearch.com and it will tell you all the cartridges that have banners. But in the Artiste cartridge on page 58, I chose this one. I just love the shape of it. And I cut that out at 1 inch. Here it is right here. And I used some ivory colored cardstock. And then I inked it pretty heavily with some Tim Holtz Tea Dye Distress ink. And for my sentiment on the front, which I love, Cookies for Santa. Once again, I used the Christmas Joy set. Now here it is right here, and as you can see, it's cookies for, and then Santa's underneath. I just took my Cutter Bee scissors I cut it right in half. You can do this with your stamps, guys. It does not hurt them. It makes them more versatile. You can mask it off if you don't want to cut it, but I just snipped it in two, and then I could put Cookies for Santa out in a straight line. But when I want to use it like this again, I'll just put it on my stamp block, just like this, and this gives me a double use for that stamp. So I stamped that on with the Memento Tuxedo Black ink. I've got this on 2 thicknesses of foam tape, and we're going to put this right across his little belly. And I like it because it hangs off and it gives it lots of dimension and just makes it so much fun. And I love doing big tags on gifts. Put that right there. Now I've got some little burgundy buttons. I ran some embroidery floss through them. I'm going to add one there and one down here. Got these on some glue dots. He is just too cute. And I wanted to put a little bow right at his neck, so I took some red and white gingham ribbon, tied it in a little bow. Let me grab my glue dots. We'll add this, and then we'll put our baker's twine through the top, and we have another tag done. Making tags is so much fun, and it just adds so much to your gift. Isn't he cute? Oh. Now, I just took some maraschino baker's twine. This is from the Twinery, and I took about 8 inches and just folded it in half, tied a loop in the end, and we're just going to run this through the hole in his head from the front to the back, and then we'll take the knot, get it even, run it through, and there he is, all ready to add to a package. I think he's so cute. And there we go. On the back, you just write who it's to and who it's from. And this just makes it a little added gift, I think. Because like I said, you can use this to hang on your tree for an ornament. Okay, guys, there you go. Christmas tag number 2. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you again soon. Bye now.